Beyond the curtain of commercial vanity, art is a form of self-expression. The visual arts present their ideas and purpose for all to see and speculate upon. A painting, a photograph, or a drawing can leave any sort of lasting impression, sure. But that memory, as lasting as it may be, is static. As a form running perpendicular, the literary world offers works which present the reader a story, a malnourished framework in which our brain plays as a feast. This motion, a voice speaking on behalf of the author's subconscious put to paper, allows for extensive and esoteric portrayal of even the most basic of thoughts. Of course, with any medium, there are outliers, both uninspired and exceptional. In the world of music, idioms and ideas come together to form cinematic worlds, both pleasurable and painful. One such exceptional musician, whose story rests comfortably atop the shoulders of trauma, Devon Hendryx, one of the most eccentric producers in modern history. On the 6th of April, 2015, Hendrix released his debut mixtape under the alias of JPEGMAFIA. Years of culminated personal and societal frustrations first founded in his adolescence. This, however, was not his first venture into music. Following some at-home complications, he had bounced between homes for the bulk of his childhood. The neighborhood of his youth influenced his views by way of perceived prosperity. There was a communal pride, one which uplifted Hendrix up until his eventual move to rural Alabama at age 13. The illusion of power, stability, and support shattered. As a means of escaping the annoying tread of high-top cowboy boots, Hendrix enlisted into the military and was sent overseas, all the while shaping his artistic vision. Quiet melodies of subtle prejudice ringing out in his ears as vengeful inspiration. During his time in the U.S. Air Force, Devon had been stationed in Japan, where his music career began to grow at a snail's pace among locals. One album in particular captures the lowest point of his life, shrouded in frustrations and self-loathing, the Ghost Pop Tape. Following several fruitless releases, Hendrix faced a fork in the road. Either continue pursuing his dreams and passion, or admit defeat. Unsurprisingly, the Ghost Pop Tape was, for lack of a better word, a flop. But he powered through this obstacle as he had done before, moving on to produce under his future name. Now, this album stands as both a remarkable milestone and a haunting suicide note, written during a time of hardship and frustration. What lies ahead, visually and audibly, is the artistic extension of a young man downtrodden by the world, coping with trauma, ravaged by his maimed psyche, and struggling to hold himself together, as sex and failure control his very being. If you wish to experience the album and corresponding movie yourself, as I encourage you to do so, it's a fantastic journey through a depraved mind. Go to archive.org and search for the Ghost Pop Tape movie. With that out of the way, let's begin. Immediately, we are presented pornographic visuals, setting the tone for the next hour of film. As the couple share their companionship, a third party arrives within the first 15 seconds, an advert. At the end of this video, we will show you how you can make money from the internet. Try to keep this in mind as we progress. 8 p.m. behind closed doors. A phrase which briefly flickers on screen leads us into HBK, a cover of Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy. It is our first lyrical exposure to Devon's extensive sexual frustrations and trauma. Through vaporous, near-wailing lyrics, he tells the audience a story, a sexual encounter he did not condone. As a defenseless child, Devon was unable to save himself from this individual. Older now, he fantasizes about murdering one of his many abusers as reparation for the scarring they inflicted. The pain weighs on him, pinning him down in a new position, absent of lust. A weather reporter. A cheerful tune plays out as she reads a report. The view snaps forward, her eyes shifting from page to camera in frantic motions, but her words and focus are left unbroken. We return where we once were, except now there are 2 small sets of stairs to the height of her pelvis. Less subtle intrusions enter the workspace, and the music fades out. She continues reading until the distractions are too much, breaking her concentration for a moment. This lapse is temporary. Within the static of the transition, the same phrase, 8 p.m. behind closed doors. As a homage to his friends and lovers, God Bless My Homegirls is both another insight into sexual frustration and a glimpse into Devon's deep respect for women. Having grown up surrounded by women, he has shown no fear when opposing men's stereotypes in both hip-hop and life. From both a masculine and feminine point of view, Hendrix proclaims unapologetic love for the important women in his life, giving prayers in their favor. As supplementary footage, clips from the anime Bubblegum Crisis bridge between this song and the next. A cast of female mercenaries striking at the mouth of the Genome Company, strong women taking charge as opposed to sitting in the passenger seat. Sharing the name with the anime, Bubblegum Crisis continues the topic of sex drive. Outside of abuse, Devon appears to struggle despite his comfort around women. A one-night stand, something loveless, Devon cannot stomach. At first, it seems as though he lies about his background as a means of impressing his partner for the night, attempting to coerce her into staying. That being said, there is some truth to his words, something that he realizes. His years of music production have left him lavish in talent and skill. He is rich not in wealth, but in spirit.
I can never share the pain.
My neon kitchen, bang, bang. In my neon kitchen, bang, bang. In my neon kitchen.
He is on the brink, barely holding on in his kitchen. An antidepressant is all that keeps him from falling over the edge. But with enough pills, he is engulfed with a fake world of positivity and joy. He knows he will have to return to this miserable reality. His happiness is dependent on these pills, and the outside world is far too miserable and terrifying for him to enjoy, but he must return to suffer or prosper.
I can sing Call Me Maybe, maybe. Maybe.
Alright, it's off like verse.
Not singing it!
Devon sings Call Me Maybe, a cover of the same song by Carly Rae Jepsen, featuring additional allusions to sexual frustration and porn addiction. Given the almost identical lyrics, it is difficult to say whether or not the representation is that of a similar situation, such as a tenuous relationship that occurred during this period of Devon's life, or is simply paying respect to the original. The video itself is reversed. He is regressing despite the increasing score. Blackened hands are reaching in.
Mr. Alien, will you promise that you'll only combine with me? Okay?
Following is a 5-minute double white boy challenge.
We have reached the center of this journal, the beginning really. Ballad of a Poor Man plays out as both an introduction to Devon's life and a glimpse into the finale. Subdued sobbing, the cocking of a gun, and chopped masturbatory audio. Depression, suicidal thoughts, and sex. A constant cycle which he cannot escape from. One which we are witnessing at this very moment. He feels powerless, alluding to past abusers who haunt him, referencing the debt he owes the government, his perpetual poverty, and his reluctance to go through with his planned suicide. There is a plea for divine intervention. Who knows how many times Devon has been faced down by this monster. Die as you have lived, alone and weak. Untitled 3 is the closure of this suicide note. The second half, a collage of memories. Existence flashed before his eyes, recalling pain and pleasure with ill discretion as a final farewell to this world. The addictions and related abuse, combined with the pressure of commercial failure after failure after failure, left Devon broken, returning to a cycle of isolation, fear, depression, and depravity. Music has been his voice, his passion, but that voice is no more. The song ends on a final prayer. At 8 p.m., behind closed doors, Devon Hendryx died a broken, unsuccessful, and lonely man, but his rebirth had just begun.
The ghost pop tape is over. The ghost pop tape is over. The ghost pop tape is over. The ghost pop tape is over.
As a closing note, I'd like to mention that suicide notes tend to have the final words the individual wished for the world to hear written after their life story. I will leave you to explore the final track, Behold a Pale Horse, on your own. The tape comes to an end, leaving us with a simple thanks for watching send-off. But what about the advert at the beginning of the movie that I had asked you to keep note of? Well, the answer is as bleak as one would expect from this tape. Failure is assured without the gift of luck. Thank you for your time and support, no matter how brief. Have a pleasant day.